Welcome. This NSE Level 2 training lesson covers Fortinet's Enterprise Firewall solution. At any time, you can click on the Tools icon in the lower right corner to open up the slide notes that are available for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify the business drivers along with the security challenges customers currently face, describe the customer value of the Enterprise Firewall solution, identify the Fortinet products and deployment methods included in our Enterprise Firewall solution, and explain the vertical strategies and competitive advantages of this solution. First, let's take a look at the business drivers for the Enterprise Firewall solution. Fortinet's Enterprise Firewall solution is best suited for enterprise customers that maintain and own a variety of IT infrastructures. Although Fortinet's FortiGate firewall offerings do span multiple market and customer segments, the Enterprise Firewall solution's story is specifically targeted at the enterprise market. Based on Fortinet's sales history and general market trends, the top 3 verticals for this solution are financial services, healthcare, and commercial. As the sophistication of cyber attacks continues to evolve, the base capabilities of firewall technology can no longer remain limited to applications and network traffic. Firewall capabilities need to evolve to address the entire threat surface. The potential market size for network security is clearly compelling. Forrester reports that 43% of organizations are planning to upgrade their existing firewalls. Both IDC and Gartner predict that enterprises will potentially spend around $11 billion in the network security product space. The network security market is growing by 9% year over year, with some submarkets exploding into the double digits. Expanding on the Forrester survey findings, enterprises are looking for a solution that can provide improved security effectiveness while reducing security management complexity. IT departments of enterprises are also looking for greater compatibility across form factors, consolidation of security areas, a high level of reliable network performance, a decreased complexity of security management, all along with a single pane of glass across their extended enterprise. Which of the following are the top verticals for the Enterprise Firewall solution? The following are the top verticals for the Enterprise Firewall solution. Let's look at the overall Enterprise Firewall solution before we go into its constituent parts. The Enterprise Firewall solution delivers industry-leading network security effectiveness on a single operating system. It also provides the fastest performing cooperative security fabric to address the most advanced threats for today's borderless environments. Let's look at this a bit closer. Here are some of the key high-level functions that constitute the Fortinet Enterprise Firewall solution. It has multiple form factors to address the multifaceted needs of today's extended enterprise infrastructures. Industry-leading security effectiveness. A firewall's effectiveness is measured by how good it is at detecting the threat seen today. A consolidated network operating system that incorporates all system and network function capabilities in a single OS. Single pane of glass management. It can be used to maintain, configure, and control various security policies, and it includes logging and reporting. A cooperative security fabric. Cooperation and sharing threat intelligence between firewalls and adjacent security technologies helps in the quick detection and remediation of new threats. It also enables IP and management connectivity points to various networking technologies. High-speed security processing. It is fast enough to be placed at all ingress and egress points within the intranet and extranet of the enterprise's infrastructure. In this table, we show how each of the 6 key firewall solution functions that we previously described are addressed with Fortinet products and technologies. The multiple form factors function can be addressed by the rich variety of FortiGate models and offerings. We'll review the FortiGate models in more detail later in this lesson. FortiGuard's threat intelligence technology enables a high degree of security effectiveness. The consolidation of network operating systems across the enterprise requires a level of unification in system and network functionality that is provided by the FortiOS. FortiManager allows the centralized command and control of all FortiGate systems. It provides the single pane of glass management approach that enterprises are seeking. A cooperative security fabric is highly dependent on intercommunications between disparate security technologies. An API is crucial in making this happen. This is something both our FortiManager and FortiOS offer today. Finally, all these functions and interactions must occur quickly with little to no performance degradation. The FortiASIC processors that power our FortiGate products can meet this challenge head-on. For a more technical examination, we can group each of the key features and functionalities into three major domains. The management domain, as its name implies, pertains to all things related to the management, provisioning, and controlling of the firewall system. The security domain is where you apply deployment and security functions. For example, this is where a data center deployment or an internal segmentation deployment would occur. The fabric domain is where firewall interfaces and network functions exist within a cooperative fabric. It is also where you determine what information is shared across the enterprise. This information could include things like threat intelligence updates to a policy being created in one section of the fabric, then being contextually applied across the entire enterprise. For example, propagating information about malware detected in one area of the enterprise across the rest of the infrastructure. These functions reduce the need for multiple touch points and policies across the entire infrastructure. The main customer benefits of the Fortinet Enterprise Firewall solution can also be grouped and examined in the same three areas: management, security, and fabric. In the management area, customer benefits include consolidated management overlays to reduce complexity and a single pane of glass management solution that provides a true north reference point for security-based logging, configuration, and reporting. In the security area, customer benefits include increased security effectiveness to reduce and prevent security incidents. Also, you could maintain performance expectations while applying deeper levels of inspection where it was previously not possible. In the fabric area, customer benefits include automated threat remediation and minimized breach intervals. The less time a breach is open, the less data is exposed and financial harm can be done. With the Fortinet Enterprise Firewall solution, information and threat data is shared across the enterprise to speed up incident response times, giving security managers the ability to unify security policy configurations across their infrastructure. Customer benefits of the Enterprise Firewall solution. Now that we've got a general appreciation of the overall solution, let's identify the Fortinet products and deployment methods included in our Enterprise Firewall solution. The four major deployment modes for the Enterprise Firewall solution in network environments are Distributed Enterprise Firewall, Next Generation Firewall, Internal Segmentation Firewall, and now that we've got a general appreciation of the overall solution, let's identify the Fortinet products and deployment methods included in our Enterprise Firewall solution. The four major deployment modes for the Enterprise Firewall solution in network environments are Distributed Enterprise Firewall, Next Generation Firewall, Internal Segmentation Firewall, and Data Center Firewall. Although you can configure any FortiGate firewall to be deployed in any of these modes, realistically you would want to select a firewall model that best fits the security and performance requirements demanded by such deployments. Another thing to consider when selecting the deployment mode is where the firewall will be placed. Will it be at a data center where servers will need to be protected at very fast rates? Will this firewall protect a few hundred users at a corporate office? Will it be placed at a gas station protecting point-of-sale systems? By understanding the security and performance requirements for the firewall, you'll be able to quickly determine how large a system you'll need to recommend. Let's look at each of these deployment modes. The most commonly talked about deployment, and the first one we will look at, is the Next Generation Firewall. Next Generation Firewalls have the following major characteristics. Performance requirements are lower than the other deployment modes. This is because internet speeds are still much slower than network speeds. NGFW security throughput ranges from 1 gigabit to 40 gigabits per second. Although this number can be higher, on average, these are the types of speeds we see most often. Based on its common placement as internet-facing, it is usually the default gateway of the internal network. This requires some level of network interaction, and therefore an NGFW may need to participate in dynamic routing protocols like BGP and OSPF. The most commonly enabled security functions are firewall policies, application control services, virtual private networking, intrusion prevention services, antivirus services, and web content filtering. In a standardized enterprise campus network, NGFWs are usually placed between the core layer and the Internet. Data centers usually house both the application and server resources of an enterprise infrastructure. This means that the protection policies implemented on these firewalls are mostly inbound focused and created to protect certain server operating systems and applications. Due to these servers being accessed globally and by many users, the requirements are fairly stringent when it comes to throughput and latency speeds. Therefore, not all security functions can be enabled on these types of deployments. Data center firewalls have the following major characteristics. DCFWs often go into the fastest portion of a network, and therefore the performance requirements are the highest of any of the deployment modes. Requirements range from 10 gigabits per second all the way up to 1 terabit per second of security throughput. The primary purpose of these firewalls is to protect data and application resources. Because of the high performance requirements, in most cases, the security functions are kept to three major functions: firewall policies, application control services, and intrusion protection services. DCFWs are placed in data centers and in the demilitarized zones of an enterprise network. In a standardized enterprise campus network, the DCFWs are usually placed between the distribution and services layers. Internal segmentation firewalls enable the concept of a zero-trust security design. This is a method in which even internal devices are no longer trusted. Imagine it as a submarine or wartime naval vessel where each room has a watertight door to help mitigate against breaches and boarding of external influences. Similarly, each ISFW becomes effectively a security switch, responsible for the passing and clearing of each device or switch connected to it. Internal segmentation firewalls have the following major characteristics: 1 gigabit to 100 gigabits per second in security throughput requirements. It may need to interconnect switches or directly connect to other devices, which can significantly increase throughput requirements. They are architected into network and logical segments, meaning that they should be used to cordon off areas of the network that could potentially impact the greater network. Due to its high performance placement, it is usually advised to enable firewall, application control services, and intrusion prevention services. However, they are also a great place to cordon off malware and sandbox inspection, as you can zero in on the specific device that has or is propagating the malicious code. ISFWs are placed between switches and devices in the enterprise LAN. In a standardized enterprise campus network, ISFWs are usually placed between the distribution and access layers. The distributed enterprise firewall is another common deployment for Fortinet partners and customers. Like NGFW, it is a popular deployment because security administrators can collapse all their security functions into a single deployment. In some cases, if the network being protected is small enough, the distributed enterprise firewall will be both the network and the security infrastructure. This is because many of the FortiGate models have sufficient wireless and port density to cover the job functions of an access point and a network switch. You can immediately understand why this deployment mode is very popular amongst IT organizations, both from a cost savings perspective and because of the ability to manage all of these security and network functions from a single device. Distributed enterprise firewalls have the following major characteristics: less than 1 gigabit per second in security throughput requirements, as these sites are rather small and don't require high performance. They provide security functions for smaller locations and branch offices. All-in-one security is usually needed and enabled for these deployments. The most commonly applied security functions are firewall policies, application control services, VPN, intrusion prevention services, antivirus services, and cloud sandbox. They are placed at the edge or perimeter of a distributed enterprise. Distributed enterprises usually don't follow a standardized enterprise campus network design. They often collapse multiple layers into one or two layers. VPN links these networks to the enterprise resources, and therefore, it is a significant requirement. This chart illustrates the FortiGate models and ranges grouped by the deployment type in which they're most commonly used. First, the FortiGate 30 and 90 models represent the entry-level range. They're most commonly used in UTM and distributed enterprise deployments. You can also include the ruggedized versions of these models in this category. Next, the FortiGate 100 to 200 series straddles the border of the entry-level and mid-range categories. We've seen many deployments where customers have used these models for either UTM or lower throughput NGFW deployments. Our FortiGate 300 to 900 series is our mid-range line. They are most commonly used as NGFWs in smaller to mid-size enterprise customers. The FortiGate 1000 series is our power NGFW line. It has increased processing capabilities and can be placed into most larger enterprise networks. Then comes our FortiGate 3000 series. These models are made for high-throughput environments and due to their high concentration of interfaces can be used in both ISFW and DCFW deployments. The FortiGate 5000 series, our most powerful, is built around a chassis-based system and therefore can be configured and slotted in various ways. Because they're modular, many enterprise customers prefer these systems that can grow with their future needs. Many telecommunications and service providers have used the 5000 series within their service infrastructure. This demonstrates just how powerful these systems really are. The newest FortiGate 7000E series leverages the latest FortiASIC CP9 innovation to deliver unprecedented NGFW performance and SSL traffic acceleration in a compact appliance chassis system. These models come pre-configured in 6 different options to suit customer requirements and ease of deployment. Finally, the VM series represents our virtual appliances that can be deployed based on the specific requirements of the customer. An enterprise firewall is only as effective as the security intelligence that it relies on. This is why the FortiGuard service offering is a crucial part of the enterprise firewall solution. Our FortiGuard service incorporates a large in-house global threat research team integrated with product development to deliver security intelligence services to our products. Updates are instantaneous, automatic, and delivered at all hours and days throughout the year. In addition, these security intelligence updates are independently validated by third-party research labs to ensure that the service has a high degree of accuracy and effectiveness. Customers can choose between selecting individual services or going with service bundles. Determining price and licensing can be accomplished in 4 easy steps. Step 1. Select the FortiGate model and determine its deployment mode and number of interfaces, or interface types, you'll need. Step 2. Select the FortiGuard services you want to enable with a firewall. Here you have the option of selecting individual services or going with a bundle. The UTM bundle contains IPS, application control, antivirus, web filtering, and anti-spam. The Enterprise bundle contains everything in the UTM bundle and also FortiSandbox, part of Advanced Threat Protection, Mobile Antivirus, Botnet, IP Reputation, and FortiClient. Step 3. Select from the following FortiCare support options, 8x5 support or 24x7 support. You can also select professional services. Step 4. Select a term for your selected package. The longer the term, the greater the discount. Which of these are amongst the major deployment modes supported in an enterprise firewall solution? Now let's go over the sales strategies for this enterprise firewall solution. 2 of the most widely successful qualifiers are the following 2 questions. The first qualifying question is, are you concerned about being breached? Surveys show that over 60% of security managers are worried about a breach. From that concern, you can branch into these topics. Recent incidents, if they're open to sharing this with you. Concern over future threats. Compliance issues that could draw unwanted attention. And new project rollouts or deployments that are IT dependent. These usually involve some form of security requirement. The second qualifying question is, would you like to reduce the complexity of protecting your entire infrastructure? This is where our enterprise firewall solution offering tells a great story. In the areas of security and system consolidation, as well as the simplification of the way security policies are organized and interacted with. Here are some deeper qualifying questions. Do you have firewalls located throughout your infrastructure? How many different firewall vendors are you using throughout your enterprise? How and where are you planning on deploying your next set of firewalls? Are you having any performance issues with the current solutions you have in place? Have you had any problems with breaches or cybersecurity incidents? Each of these questions can lead to a deeper conversation about the customer's network topology, security posture, and other security initiatives, which gives you the opportunity to discuss the features and advantages of the enterprise firewall solution. You may come across objections from customers. Here are the 2 most typical ones. The first objection comes from the customer or partner who thinks Fortinet is primarily a unified threat management vendor and is not aware of our enterprise firewall offering. Because Fortinet got its start as a UTM vendor in the early 2000s, there's a common misconception that Fortinet is still selling only in the UTM market. Although we're the #1 ranked vendor in the UTM space, nearly 50% of our firewall business comes from our mid-level and high-end product lines, which is squarely in the enterprise firewall market space. In addition, 7 of the top Fortune 10 companies in the US, 8 of the top Fortune 10 companies in EMEA, and 9 of the top Fortune 10 companies in APAC are using FortiGates in their environments. Walking the customer through our product portfolio offering could help alleviate this objection. Many customers incorrectly believe that a next-generation firewall placed at their perimeter is going to address all their security concerns. However, due to the ever-increasing enterprise footprint, we have learned that there are multiple areas in which a breach can occur: at a remote office, in a new virtual server that was recently deployed at a cloud data center, or even, potentially, from threats that are already inside the network. An NGFW placed at a single ingress and egress point of an enterprise perimeter may not provide adequate protection against today's broad threat landscape. Fortinet's enterprise firewall solution provides a variety of form factors and deployment modes that help enterprises increase their defensive posture without having to replace their existing NGFW placements. Because most enterprises already have a firewall, chances are that you'll be going in to either replace the firewall or augment other areas within the enterprise with a lateral spread of our solutions. First, let's take on the replacement scenario. As previously described, customers are looking to simplify their security infrastructure while increasing overall security effectiveness and performance. This is where you can speak to the benefit of standardization with the FortiGate offering, especially the ability to control and manage everything from a single pane of glass. As security effectiveness is very much top of mind, share our third-party security validations with the prospect, as many of the existing vendors either lack these certifications or have faltered in recent tests. We are consistently #1 in this area. Again, like security effectiveness, performance is always a big factor in the buying criteria. Thanks to our homegrown ASIC technology, we are again #1 in our ability to provide ultra-fast security processing capabilities, putting us clearly above our competitors when measured against this factor. You can use the NSS reports, ICSA reports, and so on to substantiate this. Lateral spread can also be used in the context of augmenting their current security and expanding within their infrastructure. If the customer has already invested in NGFW recently and is not willing to replace their solution, move towards other footprints within the enterprise infrastructure. You'll be more successful if you stay away from forcing a replacement and go after open security issues where traditional NGFW vendors will have a hard time defending or may not even have a solution. Let's look at a couple of strategic markets. The financial sector is a vertical in which the Fortinet Enterprise Firewall solution does very well. In fact, 9 of the top Fortune 10 retail and commercial banks have a Fortinet solution in their infrastructure. Because information and data play a critical role in the financial sector, its very existence is dependent on the data store being safe and protected from cyber attacks. However, because of the high value of these targets, they're constantly being threatened by attacks from the smallest criminal organizations to the largest electronic armies backed by nation-states. This is where our FortiGuard offering and its consistent recommended scoring and overall security effectiveness has been instrumental in positioning our solution over others. Our capability of being used in multiple deployment modes throughout their infrastructure plays a key role in helping them stay standardized and compliant with some of the most stringent IT regulations. Furthermore, because integration with other security technologies is a requirement for staying compliant, for example, SIEM logs and rule audits, our ability to interact and cooperate with adjacent technologies is just as crucial as the deployment modes we support. The financial sector often uses proprietary software applications that tap into worldwide electronic trade markets. These applications perform trades that require both ultra-low latency and high performance to properly execute. Many security vendors have a hard time keeping up with such high expectations. The Forti ASICs that power our FortiGate solutions give us the ability to be leaders in both latency and performance handling. This makes us a natural fit for such requirements. Much like the financial sector, the healthcare vertical is also under constant attack. According to recent cybersecurity reports, the top 10 U.S. healthcare breaches were all reported in 2015. Because of this trend, security is top of mind for healthcare companies. They're looking for security technologies that can detect and prevent against such attacks. Security effectiveness is a high requirement and should be positioned accordingly. Because IT budgets within the healthcare sector are rather limited, and because staff members are slow to adopt new technology skill sets, again tied to budgetary constraints, they're rather slow in bringing in new security technologies and instead are looking for ways to stretch their budget and extend their use of legacy technologies as much as possible. We are the price performance leaders in our space, and therefore many organizations are able to extend the use of our solutions much longer than most other solutions. Future-proofing is another term for this. Many healthcare customers have invested in various point security solutions in the past and over time have accumulated a collection of them throughout their enterprise. This leads to management complexity and errors that could impact their overall security posture. Our solutions help consolidate all of their various point security technologies into a single solution set. This helps reduce complexity and cuts down on errors in configuration due to lack of knowledge or multiple product upkeep. Using the FortiManager and FortiOS, healthcare customers can achieve security management goals and help drive comprehensive visibility throughout their infrastructure. Which two of these choices are considered the most widely successful qualifying questions? Finally, let's go over our competitive advantages. In the enterprise firewall solution space, there are three major competitors to consider: Palo Alto Networks, Check Point, and Cisco. These competitors are known to be market share leaders, or they're described as leaders by industry analysts like Gartner. Let's compare the 5 major capabilities that we emphasize against these competitors. First, in the most recent NSS-NGFW 2016 Security Effectiveness Test, Fortinet and Check Point were tied at the top with 99.6% security effectiveness. However, you should keep in mind, and in the customer's mind, that Check Point offers multiple solutions in their... Welcome. In the enterprise firewall solutions space, there are 3 major competitors to consider: Palo Alto Networks, Check Point, and Cisco. These competitors are known to be market share leaders, or they're described as leaders by industry analysts like Gartner. Let's compare the 5 major capabilities that we emphasize against these competitors. First, in the most recent NSS-NGFW 2016 Security Effectiveness Test, Fortinet and Check Point were tied at the top with 99.6% security effectiveness. However, you should keep in mind, and in the customer's mind, that Check Point offers multiple solutions in their firewall product portfolio. Their lower-end product utilizes a different OS and therefore has reduced capabilities and security functions. So as you can see, Check Point gets a partial rating in this area. Palo Alto Networks was tested with lower security effectiveness rating and was placed in the neutral category as well. Cisco, like Check Point, offers multiple solutions. One of its solutions, the ASA-X product, placed low in security effectiveness, resulting in a neutral rating. So in security effectiveness, Cisco also ended up with a partial rating. Fortinet leverages the same OS and security capabilities throughout our product portfolio, so we can safely check this off as a competitive advantage against these competitors. Palo Alto provides a single OS for their entire product portfolio. However, Cisco and Check Point do not. In the Universal Platform Support category, both Check Point and Cisco can match us in the variety of platforms they support. However, Palo Alto lacks a solution offering for the lower-end and distributed enterprise deployments. Here, the Palo Alto Networks OS matches us as they offer configuration reporting capabilities on a single unified policy table. Check Point and Cisco both require multiple screens and, at times, multiple management software to do what a FortiGate and FortiOS accomplish on a single screen. Industry-leading performance can be interpreted in many ways. However, if we reference our latest NSS NGFW 2016 results, they show that we are the vendor with the highest performance efficacy, the lowest in latency, and that we performed well above other competitors who submitted a similar form factor. We even performed well above our own datasheet numbers. This is all due to our ASEC technology, and we will continue to see this level of performance advantage over our competitors as we continue to evolve its capabilities. Fortinet aggressively certifies its products with all the major independent certification organizations. Fortinet tests and validates its solution through independent third-party testers like NSS Labs. Unlike our competition, we don't engage in pay-for-play test reports, where you pay the vendor to run a test and write a report, and magically, the sponsor always looks good. No other network security vendor achieves so many successful certifications and recommended validations. Some analysts might speak highly of some of our competitors, but when you actually plug the products in and test them in real-life scenarios, Fortinet shines while the competition often fails. Our competition often fails to live up to their own datasheet performance and effectiveness claims, while Fortinet meets or exceeds its claims. It's a part of Fortinet's culture, and a founding principle of the company, to build great products and then certify, validate, and test them rigorously to prove their value. Let's look at a couple of examples describing actual customer deployments of our enterprise firewall solution. Here is a great example of a customer in the healthcare vertical. One of the largest hospital systems in the United States was looking to consolidate their security technologies. They had selected various point vendors throughout the years, and as a result, they were left with a combination of security solutions that required an extensive skill set to properly maintain and manage. They had a checkpoint at the perimeter providing stateful firewall functions, a Cisco SourceFire IPS behind the checkpoint and at various points throughout their segments, and a WebSense web filter for content filtering. The cost of renewing and maintaining these disparate vendor technologies could have paid for a consolidated FortiGate solution in an NGFW deployment at almost 5 times our normal cost. Using Fortinet's enterprise firewall solution, they were able to standardize on a single vendor solution and expand their security footprint. This also allowed them to protect areas in their network that were impossible to protect before due to cost and management complexity. They extended their security functions to many of their smaller hospitals and more remote employees. With the help of FortiManager and FortiAnalyzer, they were able to maintain regulatory compliance requirements like HIPAA and PCI. This is a clear case where consolidation, the support of various deployment modes and form factors, and a reduction in management complexity helped our field team win an opportunity. Of course, our pricing for the solution also didn't hurt in convincing the financial decision makers of this account. A well-known luxury brand manufacturer was looking to increase their security posture in their newly updated data center. As a well-known global brand, they've been targeted by cyber attackers on numerous occasions. They were looking for a solution that could provide firewall functionality with some advanced security capabilities, specifically in the area of intrusion protection and advanced persistent threats. They were aware of the ever-evolving threat landscape, and they wanted a solution that was known for its security effectiveness and for continuously updating its threat intelligence capabilities to stay ahead of the cyber criminals targeting their infrastructure. In addition to security effectiveness, they were also very concerned with performance and application latency. Whatever solution they chose, it couldn't slow down their day-to-day operations and financial transactions. Our enterprise firewall solution, deployed in the data center firewall mode, was a perfect fit for this opportunity, and we won the account over competitors like Check Point, Palo Alto Networks, and McAfee. We won due to better security effectiveness, superior performance, and ease of use. To help you learn more and to sell more enterprise firewall solutions to prospects and existing customers, we have many resources available to you. Please check the Partner Portal and Fuse in the Product and Solution areas for sales presentations, FAQs, solution guides, talking points, competitive information, and other resources. That's it for Fortinet's Enterprise Firewall solution. Let's summarize what we've covered. As a quick recap, here are the key points to remember. Enterprise solutions are best targeted at mid-market to large enterprises and managed service providers. These organizations need firewalls to protect their entire infrastructure without performance issues or overly complex technologies. Fortinet's Enterprise Firewall solution consists of FortiGate, FortiOS, FortiGuard, and FortiManager. Finally, Fortinet is the best enterprise firewall solution because we're the only vendor that offers a complete solution at high performance with proven security effectiveness. We are also the only vendor to provide a complete solution set for small to large deployments, leveraging a single unified network operating system managed within a single pane of glass. Now that you've finished this lesson, you're equipped to identify the business drivers along with the security challenges customers currently face. Describe the customer value of the enterprise firewall solution. Identify the Fortinet products and deployment methods included in our enterprise firewall solution, and explain the competitive advantages and vertical strategies of this solution. Thank you for your time.